The tension surrounding this potential matchup has only intensified as more voices weigh in, each adding another layer to the unfolding narrative. What once sounded like a ridiculous publicity stunt is now being dissected by analysts, pundits, former champions, and promoters who all understand just how dangerous this could become. For many, the idea of Jake Paul stepping into a ring with Anthony Joshua represents the moment the sport finally crosses a line it may never come back from. The size disparity alone paints a grim picture. Joshua is a sculpted heavyweight, gifted with knockout power that has dropped some of the strongest men in combat sports. His punches are not wild swings thrown in desperation. They are calculated missiles, driven by years of discipline, technique, and muscle memory. Experts warn that one clean connection from Joshua could do more than end a fight. It could end a career. Some even fear that the consequences could be life-altering. What makes this even more polarizing is the belief that Jake Paul is walking into this willingly, convinced not only that he belongs but that he can win. His confidence, which has carried him through social media fame and into the world of combat sports, now appears reckless. Critics argue that self-belief has finally pushed him into a situation where no amount of determination or marketing can protect him. Analysts have noted that Paul's previous opponents, despite being well-known names, were smaller, older, or from different combat disciplines. Facing a towering, prime heavyweight like Joshua is an entirely different reality. Even his victory list becomes insignificant when compared to what awaits him. Against a true heavyweight with elite pedigree, the flaws in Paul's technique could be brutally exposed. Yet, the financial allure cannot be ignored. Reports suggest that the purse for this fight could soar into hundreds of millions. Jake Paul himself has hinted that the total value could exceed anything seen before in boxing, surpassing even some of the biggest crossover events in history. Joshua stands to earn a staggering amount, perhaps the largest paycheck of his career. For a fighter approaching the latter stages of his professional journey, such an opportunity is nearly impossible to refuse. Even those who criticize the matchup reluctantly acknowledge the business logic. When a single night can secure generational wealth, moral objections become quieter. Promoters are salivating at the numbers, broadcasters are preparing for record-breaking viewership, and fans around the world are eager to witness whether a YouTuber can survive even a single exchange with a heavyweight force. Still, beyond the spectacle and financial frenzy lies a creeping sense of unease. Boxing purists cannot accept the legitimacy of this fight. They argue that sanctioning such a mismatch undermines the sport's integrity. Some believe it sets a dangerous precedent where fame and online influence override merit and safety. Veteran commentators have gone as far as calling it irresponsible, insisting that governing bodies should intervene. They claim that allowing a fighter with limited professional experience to enter a ring with a man known for devastating knockouts borders on negligence. Even some fighters who admire Jake Paul's promotional genius and business savvy draw the line here. They credit him for taking risks, building an audience and elevating fighter pay, but they refuse to view him as a contender worthy of facing someone like Joshua. They warn that courage alone will not help when the punches start landing. Those who have endured the brutal reality of heavyweight power insist that no amount of ambition can soften the impact of a perfectly timed right hand. To them, this fight represents not bravery but reckless overconfidence. For Anthony Joshua, the stakes are different. He is not fighting for validation. His legacy, while debated, is established. He has been a world champion, sold out stadiums, and fought the best. Yet now, every decision he makes shapes how the final chapter of his career will be remembered. Some believe that taking this fight signals resignation, a quiet acknowledgement that his days competing for elite titles are nearing an end. Instead of climbing back toward championship contention, he appears to be prioritizing financial security. Analysts warn that if this becomes his path, he risks being remembered not as a dominant champion, but as a fighter who cashed out rather than rebuilt. The pressure on Joshua is immense. If he destroys Jake Paul quickly, critics will say he beat a novice. If he struggles or allows the fight to extend, his reputation could crumble. A single moment of hesitation, a poorly timed exchange, or even an accidental injury could create headlines that permanently stain his career. And while the possibility of Jake Paul landing a significant punch is considered slim, even that remote chance creates anxiety. Combat sports have a long history of unexpected outcomes, and no fighter is immune to mistakes. Meanwhile, Jake Paul views this opportunity as the ultimate shortcut. Instead of climbing through years of competition, he sees a path to instant legitimacy. In his mind, beating Joshua erases every criticism, every accusation of handpicking opponents, every claim that he is nothing more than a pretender. He imagines a world where one shocking victory positions him among the sport's elite overnight. His supporters argue that his unconventional path has always defied expectations. They believe that his unpredictability, power, and willingness to take risks could create the perfect storm. Opponents counter that this mindset reveals dangerous delusion. They believe that Jake Paul fundamentally misunderstands the difference between marketing battles and real heavyweight warfare. They point to his loss against Tommy Fury as proof that he struggles against young, active professionals. If he could not overcome a fighter considered inexperienced and limited, how can he possibly survive a man who once unified the heavyweight division? As the debate rages on, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. This fight, whether it happens or not, has captured global attention. It represents a collision between old and new worlds. Traditional boxing values versus modern entertainment culture. Legacy versus spectacle. Discipline versus influence. And no matter how loudly critics protest, millions will watch, waiting to see whether Jake Paul's gamble leads to shocking triumph or brutal disaster. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Is Jake Paul risking everything for a moment that could destroy him, or is he on the verge of the biggest upset in boxing history? Is Anthony Joshua making a smart business move, or damaging his legacy beyond repair? Let us know what you think in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe for more explosive boxing breakdowns, and stay tuned. The moment this fight becomes official, the entire sports world will shift, and you won't want to miss what happens next.